Welcome to the CLT I.B Podcast. I am Slyker.
I am Brian Garbage.
We're going to talk about within the gaming community of top stories today within the news. So let's just get right into it. I went to IGN.com, and the thing that has popped up on my thing on the IGN app is the annual pass for Destiny 2: The Final Shade. Become Legends available now. I've seen this with what's going on with Destiny lately, and Destiny is doing a thing where they are doing, their stuff, which is cool. But Destiny, funny enough, and this kind of goes out to the Dungeons & Dragons fans, is they're getting involved with Dungeons & Dragons. They're teaming up, doing a collab with them, which I think is kind of cool, And I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how the way they're going to do it. My guess is they're gonna kind of do. I think they're gonna do some stuff like character costumes and like weapon stuff, and they do like a little kind of emoji thing of the 20-sided dice. Yeah, there's that going on right now. They're talking about, right now, that was posted about 8 minutes ago on the IGN website, of Sony could be pulling a Helldivers 2 with Concord's price tag, which they showed this at the State of Play of Concord. Basically, it's a mix between Overwatch, Apex Legends, stuff like that, for it being a first-person shooter. And the characters more look like towards Apex than Overwatch, because Overwatch is more cartoony and more animated and more of a kids' children way, where Apex is more like anime, kind of looking like reality type stuff. So the way they're going with that is, I'm not interested in Concord. I've seen the gameplay. They showed for the trailer. I don't think it looks that good, to be honest. I mean, it's not a first-person shooter, which, we've got enough of as it is. So, yeah, there's that right now. IGN posted another thing 5 days ago, which we just talked about in the first episode, which is the State of Play that was last week. Now we're going to talk about, with that, what games were shown at the State of Play of Sony State of Play May 2024, everything announced. The new Astrobot game, it releases the dates of Silent Hill 2 Remake and Concord, and highlights of the State of Play that was last week. For the third time this year, Sony is hosting another State of Play showcase where it was received roughly 30 minutes in the news, updates about hidden PS5 games and PlayStation VR 2 games. Everything that was shown, here's everything. Here's every game that Sony showed off at its May 2024 State of Play. Total of 14 games, split half of PlayStation 5 games and PlayStation VR games. The games that were basically shown basically was Astrobot, Concord, God of War Ragnarok for the PC, and Monster Hunter Wild, which, is a Capcom game. So, basically, that's stuff that they showed there right now. It sounds like 4 games, but they showed a ton of other games. If I can just find it. Yeah. Astrobot, Monster Hunter Wild, Silent Hill 2, Path of Exile 2, which Path of Exile 2, just talk about that for a minute before we go on the new stuff, it's basically Diablo 4 in a sense of kind of a knockoff version of Diablo 4. But I guess, they've had a Path of Exile 1, now there's Path of Exile 2. Right here. The Until Dawn remastered, for people who like that type of game. Where Wind Meets, which is another game I was excited for from when they showed that for the State of Play. Astrobot was something I was definitely excited for. Monster Hunter was just something I was like, it's okay. The Ball of Atara I was excited for. Marvel Rivals, for me, when it went up to Marvel Rivals, me and Brian both watched it that night, I'm not interested in it, and here's why. It's Overwatch, essentially, in third person, basically. Which, again, I'm not an Overwatch fan, so... And they showed Infinity Nikki to all, so that goes out to the anime fans right now. And another game I was super interested in was Dynasty Warriors Origins, because I thought that looked really cool. So, yes, that's what's going on right now within new stuff within PlayStation. The new games that are coming out right now that's from the new stuff, it's for video games that's coming out for this year, is Destiny 2 The Final Shake, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Evertree, which is the DLC, Bo Path of the Teat-Lois, Frostpunk 2, World of Goo 2, which is basically kind of a weird version of Loco Roco, Cat Quest 3, Black Myth Wukong, Gundam Breaker 4, which is cool, Star Wars Outlaws, Prison Stalker 2, The Heart of Canary, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, Funko Fusion, Metaphor Refensto, and Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is, again, another game I'm interested in, Assassin's Creed Shadows, because that takes place in Japan, which is right around the Osaka, Japan area, which is, a lot of where the history is. So I think that's cool, For that, Xbox stuff that's coming out for games are out, if you want to get them through GameStop or Amazon Target, is Crime Boss Rock City on Xbox, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Urgency Sandstorm Deluxe Edition, The Settlers New Allies Standard Edition, Star Wars Outlaws Special Edition, Skull and Bones Stair Edition, Rise of Skull Island, Rise of Kong, Vampire the Masquerade, Outcast: A New Beginning, Alone in the Dark, Lords Fallen, which is another game I've actually recently played and enjoyed a lot, Dead Space, Xbox, the Dragon's Dogma 2, Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora, which, again, before we go on to the other games that they've shown, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is Far Cry. Essentially, it's this. I think I've kind of have a hunch, an idea, and this is my opinion alone, is I think it's made by the same creators who actually made the Far Cry games, which would make sense why it's playing like Far Cry and feels like Far Cry, which makes sense. So, we'll go on to the game stuff. Fallout 76 Atlantic City Boardwalk, Jedi Survivor, Star Trek, Way the Hunter, Immortals, Metal Gear Solid 1, all these other great games that are already out or coming out. For me, again, I recently played, Lords of the Fallen. So I played this game recently. This game is really well done, and here's the reason why. It's a Demon's Souls game, which anybody who has played Demon's Souls and played the remaster or remake of Demon's Souls that was released on PS5, the game is really, really good. It's confusing, don't get me wrong, with the whole getting carrot in a lamp thing, but you kind of just get used to it. With that, what they did with Lords of the Fallen was cool. And I think Lords of the Fallen is made by From Software. I might have to look this up later to confirm that information. But I think it's made by From Software, which, of course, From Software's made our favorite games of Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, Mortal Shell, and now this of Lords of Fallen. So I think that's really cool that they did that. And I'm hoping with this DLC that Elden Ring is dropping, because I own Elden Ring, is going to be cool. Shadow of the E-Tree. I've seen a trailer of that, and I think that's going to just play out.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah. I like it too. I think
a little
it's
bit confused, but you go get used to it.
yeah. The combat I already kind of got used to because for me I own Demon Souls, the old Demon Souls on PS3. I don't own the remaster. I'm gonna wait until I get a PS5 eventually to get that remaster to play that.
It's already out on.
It's
series,
you know again
and
it's basically.
see what they should put for everything else.
And that's the thing. I mean, they put Demon Souls on Xbox. It's just they priced it for like $60, $70 for the original game, which is, for me about my, it's just kind of too much right now at the moment. But for other gaming news, with, lately the games that they've been dropping on PlayStation VR and VR headsets like the Meta Quest. What was weird to me about that VR stuff now we're talking about is it's weird that they're releasing this new Batman game for the VR, on the Meta Quest. That was weird to me because Sony originally had, for the PlayStation VR 1, that was for the PS4, was a Batman game. They already had that. So it's weird that Sony did not do that game and it's on MetaQuest. I thought that was kind of weird and just off-putting. For me, I played VR games. I just get motion sick off of it because I just don't feel like I like VR games, but if I do it too long, I get like motion sick off of it. So, but, right now, I'll get up soon playing VR games again and just see how it goes. Speaking of like new stuff, because like me and him were watching the old Game Awards as we're doing episode 2 of the podcast, is they're showing Lego Fortnite, which is funny. They've done something new recently with Fortnite since after the Lego thing. Is Bethesda is getting involved with Fortnite, which they've done that before because they added the Doom guy skin, and now they add the 260 power armor from Fallout because Bethesda's getting involved with Fortnite to do the Fallout thing because of the new Fallout. So if y'all have not checked out the new Fallout show, go to Amazon Prime right now and watch it. It's well worth it. It's 8 episodes long, so you can sit there for 8 hours, but it's well worth it at the end. But yeah, they're doing that, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm not the hugest fan of Fortnite. He is, so for me, I don't really play Fortnite as much. But it's cool that they've done Fortnite's done so many collabs with people where they've gotten Marvel involved, DC, Disney type stuff, Star Wars. Now Bethesda and all that stuff. They've done Invincible. They did Aliens and Predator. They did like Terminator, stuff like that. I'm hoping one day they add Rambo. Because if they do, I'll buy that and play it. They've done Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe and stuff like that. They've done him. But yeah, they've done those characters, I think they did Street Fighter characters too. If I'm not wrong, I think they did. Street Fighter characters. And they did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Associates. They've done a ton of collabs. But I think the Fallout one's kind of cool and stuff. The only issue I have with Fallout 1 is that you can't just buy it right off the bat and just have the skin and just be like, oh, okay, I've got a skin, cool, I don't have to worry about anything. You have to grind to get it, which is annoying, because you didn't have to do that with the Doom skin, I don't think. You may have, like, one of the costumes that changes the color, but I think the original Doom skin you could buy in the item shop, so I don't see any time Bethesda leaving Fortnite. I think they'll add another character from another Bethesda first-person shooter game. From Quake. The dude from Quake and Quake 2. I think they'll add him into that as a skin. So, yeah, that's Fortnite news right now at the moment. But me and him, we talked about this the first episode of the podcast, is with Game Awards news. So I'm going to look up on the Googles, on the G's, of what Game Awards showed at the 2023 one of last year, basically. These were the games that they were showing the Game Awards 2023 of last year. New games announced included Big Walk, United Crazy Taxi, Ninja Wolves, Export Exodus, United Gold Axe, Harmon on the Musical, United Jet radio game. Hang on, I gotta look for what they showed. They go to IGN.com, of course, look us up. Yeah, the games that were shown were Monster Hunter World OD'd by Hideo Kojima, God of War: The Valhalla DLC, and Marvel's Blade, which is made by Bethesda. So that's gonna load them in to show all these games that have been shown. Yeah, so Monster Hunter World OD, God of War: Valhalla DLC, Marvel's Blade, Jet Set Radio, The Finals, which is the first one to share, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Light No Fire, Final Fantasy Urges the Fallen, Final Fantasy The Rise Tide, Dusk Falls, it's probably a remake of that, The Last Sentinel, Exoborn, The First Descendant, Mecha Breaks, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2, Zentless Zone Zero, The First Berserker Concept, which is another game I was interested in, The Rise of Ronin, Skull and Bones, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Dragon Ball Spiking Zero, which is cool because that's part of the new Budokai Tenkaichi series, of the newest thing about Visions of Mana, Jurassic Park Survival, The Casting of Frank Stone, No Rest for the Wicked, Fortnite Rocket Racing, Sonic Saga Hellblade 2, Brothers of the Tale, The Two Sons Remake, Den of Wolves, Black Myth Wukong, Tales of the Kenzra Za, Windblown, Harmon the Musical, Pony Island 2, Panda Circus, Usual Jude, The Rise of the Golden Idol, Thrasher, World of Goo 2, Arcanized Enfield, Exodus 2024, The Big Walk, Honka Star World, Radio Not, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, The Matches Kung Fu, Kimurai, which was another game I was into, GTFO, Work Together or Die Together, Asgard's Wrath 2, Stormgate, Baldur's Gate 3, Guilty Gear Strive, Banisher's Ghost of the New Elden, The Outcat, The Outlast Shadows, and Paula. So we'll go through these games and explain what's kind of most of them are and what most of them are not. So we'll start off with the Monster Hunter one. That's the newest game from Capcom that is coming out sometime this year. So I think that's going to be cool once that comes out. My cousin Drake is a big fan of the Monster Hunter games, so he'll play that when that comes out. OD, a Hideo Kojima game. For this, I'm not really interested in it. It seems like it's some really weird stuff, some really kind of messed up stuff, so I'm not really interested in what that's going on with. God of War Valhalla DLC. Now, this is cool because I've seen the DLC already, and this shows what Kratos is doing in Valhalla, and it shows kind of towards the end of his younger self in Kratos, so that's cool. Marvel's Blade. This game is coming out by and being made by Bethesda. The weird thing is they are not releasing it on PlayStation. It is a Microsoft and Xbox only game exclusive. So if you got an Xbox, play it. You don't, Jet Set Radio. Don't really know much information about this game, unfortunately. The Finals. This game is a first-person shooter online game. You play in a team or play in a squad, and it's kind of a competition, challenge type of thing. The Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Shinobi is basically the new Sega stuff, and then they're doing a Sega collection of games, and I think Jet Set Radio is actually part of that, so it's about 5 games total in there. The Final Fantasy thing is a new Final Fantasy game. They've got 2, Final Fantasy Echoes of the Fallen and Final Fantasy The Rising Tide. Now, the next game on the list is As Dusk Falls, which they've already done this game, and now it is a remake or a remastered. Now we're going to the next game. Sentinel. The Last Sentinel is a game that takes place in Japan where basically the humans are not humans. They are robots. Basically AI. and they're getting killed by this monster, and there's this person that shows up called the Demon, who is taking these guys out and saving the people who are robots. Exoborn, the next game, I don't know much about it. The first Ascendant, again, don't know much about it. Next game on the list is Mecha Break. Mecha Break looks like something that's between Armor Core and straight up Gundam, which is cool to both of fans of Armor Core and Gundam. So that's going to be really cool, and I'm excited for that to come out. Space Marine, Warhammer Space 40K Space Marine 2. That's another game, again, I'm interested in because it comes out the day after my birthday, which is cool. Next game on the list is Zenless Zone Zero, which is an anime game. So for anime fans, they will enjoy that a lot. The first Berserker Kazan and stuff, which I don't know much on this game. I've seen the trailer and I'm interested in it because, it looks like some cool stuff. The next game is on the list by actually Team Ninja, which Team Ninja is the guys who made the Ninja Gaiden games. Is The Rise of Ronin. Now, for me, I was super interested into this game until I kind of found out apparently that the art style is not doesn't look reality looking, and it looks like something off of a game I said a while back when I saw my dad about it, but I don't remember the game off the top of my head at the moment. Next game is Skull and Bones. Again, I don't know anything really about it besides the notes on Xbox. Next game that's on the list is Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which are kind of by the creators who made these Things Are Strange games. So, yeah, that's all I know on that one right now. The next game on the list is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero by Bandai Namco. And apparently this is part of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, which is cool because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. I've watched Dragon Ball Super of 8 seasons of that, and I love that. So that's cool for anime fans like me who are into Dragon Ball and into that type of stuff. And it plays like the old Budokai games. It's not like Fire Z and stuff like that. So, next game on the list by Square Enix is Visions of Mana. Now, I don't know anything about the Mana series and stuff. I think my dad does, so I'll have to talk to him about this so I know the information so I bring up in the next episode of the podcast. The next thing on the list is Jurassic Park Survival. So this is cool because I've watched Jurassic Park movies and I like the ones with Chris Pratt. I'm not a big fan of the old ones. But for that, to them doing a new Jurassic Park game is going to be cool. And it seems like, again, it looks like something from like straight out of Far Cry, which is cool. The casting of the next game on the list right now is the casting of Frank Stone, which is made by the same creators who made Dead by Daylight, of that horror game. The next game that showed up is No Rest for the Wicked, which again looks like something that looks like a Diablo game. I don't know much about it, but that's kind of it. The next game that pops up is Fortnite Rocket Racing. Now, this is not just a game. This is just kind of an add-on thing for Fortnite. It's the same thing with the Fortnite Lego thing. That's an add-on.
It's into Fortnite.
It's like into Fortnite where you have an option. It's like a mode, basically. So, the next game pops up is Hellblade 2 Sonnen's Saga by Ninja Theory. Now, they've already got a Hellblade 1 on the Xbox Series X and Xbox One, and now they've got, for the Xbox Series X, Hellblade 2 Sonnen's Saga on the Game Pass. Next game that's coming up is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons Remake, which, again, I don't know anything about that game, so we're just going to move on. Den of Wolves by 10 Chambers Collective. Don't know anything about that game, but we'll move on to the next game. Black Myth Wukong. Now, this is cool. I like this, again, because it's not made by From Software or Team Ninja, but it's a game where it feels similar to the two. And apparently people have been waiting for like 10 years for this game to come out. and like brought it up here and there in conversations. So that's cool. The next game on the list is Tales of the Kanzara Zoo, which apparently looks super cool. When I saw the trailer at this, as far as I thought it was some Black Panther stuff. I really did, because it felt like some Black Panther Wakanda type of stuff, but it's completely different from that and completely different from Marvel stuff. It has nothing to do with Marvel. The next game that I showed is Windblown, which Windblown, if you don't know, is the same creators who made Dead Cells. And that game is only a PC game, so if you have a PC, and that's coming out on 2020 this year around 2024, so look for that game and play it. Harmony the Musical. So Harmony the Musical, apparently Netflix is getting involved with the gaming community, which is a entirely new thing. They're getting involved with that because once you see the trailer and it says at the end, when it kind of shows the title of the game, it says at the bottom screen, Netflix game, and 2 other creators are beside it. The next game that is shown is Pony Island 2 Panda Circus, which is a MetaQuest game. Now, again, I'm not into it because it's just a horror game, and I'm not a horror fan. The next game that is shown is Usual June, which is, the game looks cool just for art style. And the next game that's on the list is Rise of the Golden Isle, which again, another Netflix games game. So Netflix has 2 games for the gaming community. The next game that is shown is Thrasher. Now, if you don't know who created this game, it is the same people who created the rhythm beat game of Thumper, which is cool. And I play Thumper, so this one I'm interested in just to see how it does for art style, beats, and rhythm. The next game that is shown is World of Goo 2, which is apparently people at first who saw this was thinking it was Loco Roco. The next game that is shown is Arknights Endfield, which is another anime game. So to the anime fans, play that game and enjoy. The other game that's shown is Exodus 2024, which there was a dude who came out in the Game Awards, I forgot his name. I think it's Matthew McConaughey, who came out, basically. And apparently he's in this game as a actor. Another game that's coming out is Big Walk, which I don't know any information on it. The next game that's on the list is Honka Star Rail, which is another anime game. So seems like you're dropping a lot of anime games. Another game that's on the list right now is Ready or Not, which I don't know any information about that game, so we'll just move on for now. The next game that was on the list is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League by Rockstar Games, who have done the Batman games. Now, I'm not interested in it just because of what they did to Kevin Conroy, so I'm just going to leave it there. And the next game that came up is the Matchless Kung Fu, which is a fighting game. The next game on the list is Kimurai, which is cool because this is made by a one creator that's a female, and I've seen the trailer on this, and I'm hoping gameplay will drop soon, sometime this year, and stuff, because I'm interested in it, and I think it'd be a cool game to play. The next game that has popped up is GTFO. Is Work Together or Die Together. Again, don't know the information on this, so we'll just move on. Asgard's Wrath 2 for the MetaQuest 3. They've apparently done a Asgard's Wrath 1, and this is Asgard's Wrath 2, so there's 2 Asgard's Wrath games. The next game that's on the list is Stormgate by Frostgate Giant Studios. Again, another game I don't know about, so we'll just move on. The next game that's on the list is by Lawrence Studios. Funny enough, got Game of the Year last year is Baldur's Gate 3, Which, again, I feel like it's just, apparently people are telling me it's kind of different from Diablo 4. I don't see it. Another game that was on the list was Guilty Gear Strive. Now, this is not a new game. Keep in mind, this is not a new game. They released 2 characters as, I think, an add-on or DLC thing. So, if you play Guilty Gear Strive, go ahead and pick those up so you have characters on your character list. The next game is Banisher's Ghost of the New Eden. Again, don't know anything about that. And we've got 2 games left on the list. The Outlast Trials. Don't know anything about that. And then Paulo, which, again, don't know anything about that. Those are all the games that are on the list right now. And we'll go on to saying which ones are favorite games that are coming out. Which ones were, to start with your thing before we start mine, is what was the games you were excited for that was coming out? That they showed at the Game Awards last year that's coming out for this year.
I know I saw Far Cry 6.
Well, I don't think they showed Far Cry 6.
They didn't show that?
No, that was Frontiers Pandora.
Avatar.
Yeah, so he's excited for Avatar Frontiers Pandora, which again is probably made by the same creators who made Far Cry 6 and he's making the next game in development. So, do you have any other games that you liked or interested in?
Not that I know of.
So for me, we'll just go on my list of what games I was interested in. God of War Valhalla DLC, which I'm gonna get still because I think it's still free. Now, Marvel's Blade, I'm interested in. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, I'm interested in. Rise of Ronin, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Hellblade 2 Sonic Saga, Black Myth Wukong, Windblown, Usual June. But yeah, those are the games I'm really interested in at the moment right now. When it came to State of Play that I showed last week on an IGN, funny enough, who streamed the Game Awards last year, streamed this, and it's going to be streaming the Fan Fest on Friday, so go check that out on YouTube, and the Xbox Direct on the next day, Saturday, so go check that out. State of Play they showed, and there were 14 games altogether, so split in half between PlayStation 5 games and PlayStation VR 2 games. The games they showed was Phantom Blade Zero and 2 other games I can't get off the top of my head that I was interested in. Astrobot I was interested in. Where Wind Meets, that's what the game was called. That was one of them off the top of my head I was interested in. Definitely interested in that game. So right now, those are the games that they showed the Game Awards and State of Play. So once the Summer Fan Fest on Saturday shows up and Friday shows up for the showcase and Xbox Direct's thing and stuff, and hopefully Nintendo will do their thing by next week to show their games, so me and him can get our opinions out on those. Right now, that is the new stuff going on within the gaming community and the game universe world. I am Ian, and this is Brian, and we are signing out for today.